Monday morning, ASX listed company Arizona Lithium Limited, trading code AZL, announced a strategic alliance with Navajo Nation Mining Company for the development of the Big Sandy Lithium project in US. We welcome Arizona Lithium Managing Director, Mr. Paul Lloyd here to discuss further with us regarding this exciting news. Hi, Paul, how are you?
Yes, good. Good morning, Steph, and exciting announcement by AZL this morning in regards to NTEC. We've been working on this transaction for 6 months. We did an extensive due diligence on the company, and we think it's the perfect partner for the Big Sandy Lithium project.
So to start with, could you please tell us a bit more about the background of the partner Navajo Transitional Energy Company, and who are they? What kind of trackable record that is worth to mention about them?
NTEC is a very well-established mining company. They have an extremely professional management team, and we've been getting to know that team over the last 6 months. They have a number of coal mines in the US, and they have a 6% interest in the Four Corners power station in the US. So they're an established mining company. They understand the mining regulations, they understand the rehabilitation, and they've won some awards in regards to rehabilitation. And they really do tick all the boxes for AZL and the Big Sandy project. They are also investing in the new economy, given they're predominantly in coal. They have some hydrogen properties, and they also have invested in a rare earths company. So when we started talking to NTEC, lithium was something that they were very interested in, and it really is a deal that's sort of hand in glove. They were looking for something like this to extend their operations, their mining operations, and we were looking for someone that had those skills. We're very good explorers, and we're excited to develop the Big Sandy Lithium project, but it's not something that we have a lot of in-house experience. Recruiting Brett Rabe as our Chief Technical Officer and running the Lithium Research Centre was a real plus for us, and we want to grow our AZL team in that area, but that's more on the processing side. So on the mining side, we would have had to grow a team to run the mining operations. And basically, now that we've done the NTEC deal, that fits in perfectly with our plan. We won't have to build a dedicated mining team within the AZL network, and we'll allow NTEC to do that and just have some staff overseeing the work that they're doing.
How does NTEC value and comment about Big Sandy project at the moment?
Yes, so NTEC are very excited about the opportunity for the Big Sandy project. The Navajo Nation is a very large area. They're a very proud group of First Nation people, and they're one of the largest. So they have been in mining historically. They're very hardworking, pro-development type First Nation group, and they're very excited to be involved in the new economy. And the Big Sandy project is one of those projects that does represent the new economy for the US, and building that production of lithium, strategic commodity, of course, and securing the US as a supplier to the growing EV revolution. And we are in Arizona, so there's a lot of renewable power storage requirements in such a sunny state. There's a lot of solar generation. So yeah, exciting times ahead with our partnership with NTEC.
True. So according to the term sheet, what will Navajo do for Big Sandy, and how this can really benefit the project itself and Arizona Lithium on its way of development?
Yes, that's a good question. So basically, the NTEC management team will put together a team within their organisation to commence the permitting of the Big Sandy project. So not just getting the drilling approvals that all our shareholders are waiting on, but taking it to the next level and doing baseline studies, environmental assessments, working out a mine plan, all that detailed work that has to be done for our DFS, NTEC will commence that work with their team of professional people that they'll be assigning to the Big Sandy project. That's a huge plus for us. So in a full economy in the US and around the world, it will be very difficult to build a team of experienced mining professionals, and NTEC bring that to the table.
True. So as the partnership is called like strategic alliance, so what else has been outlined in the term sheet that can reflect this point? Is there any crossover between the boards and management teams of two companies?
Yes, we, as a strategic alliance, we have different skill sets, and by combining those skill sets, it will make the Big Sandy project much more successful and reduce the permitting time. The permitting time in the US is a little bit longer than, say, Canada and Australia, and that's been getting a lot of publicity in the US. I went to a battery conference about 3 weeks ago in LA, and that was a big discussion point. So President Biden understands that, and he understands the importance of getting lithium production within the US. So we're hoping that in the next 6 to 12 months, there'll be some changes there in regards to the time for permitting. Not necessarily any changes to the rules, and we want to be good corporate citizens and respect the environment as the NTEC and the Navajo Nation respect the environment. But it could be shortened by still completing all the required checks and balances, but just reducing that time to be similar to, say, Canada or Australia. So that's something that the people in Washington are working on, and we'd be very happy with some results coming out of there.
And what is the nature of the term sheet just signed? Is it currently like binding and exclusive?
Yes. At the moment, the term sheet is non-binding, and we'll start work on a definitive agreement immediately. NTEC have a legal department, so they'll commence drafting of a contract. And most importantly, the terms of this non-binding agreement is NTEC basically receiving shares and options for the work they are doing to become a substantial shareholder of AZL. So that does show to our investors that this is not a group that just wants to take from us and take all our cash away from us. They are prepared to invest in our company. So when we commenced discussions with NTEC, we thought that was extremely positive, that they were prepared to take equity in the company, and they really did believe in the Big Sandy project.
And what will both companies do immediately, and what will be the most important matters for the due diligence?
So immediately, we will commence the drafting of the definitive agreement. As I mentioned previously, we have been doing our own due diligence, and NTEC doing their due diligence on us for about the last 6 months. We've got to know the management team well. After the definitive agreement is signed, we'll welcome the managing director of NTEC onto the board of AZL. I think that is a good move, and he will assist with the development of the Big Sandy project. But Vern is a seasoned mining professional, and he may bring other opportunities to the company. They may come through the Navajo Nation, or they may come through other parts of the mining industry. So we'll welcome Vern onto the board after we have the definitive agreement. Also, the Navajo group, or NTEC, need to get to know the Big Sandy project, and they're forming their team as we speak, and they'll commence downloading more information in regards to the project and build that team and get straight into the permitting process.
So until now, could you please help us to summarize what kind of partnerships and relationships have been established for the development of Big Sandy Lithium project?
Yes, the first relationship of significance that AZL has formed is with NTEC, and that will be very beneficial for the development of the Big Sandy project in regards to the mining operations. And NTEC are an experienced mining company, and it's basically the mining arm of the Navajo Nation. So therefore, if they're mining coal, it's very similar to the Big Sandy project where it's near surface. And we want to ensure that we're good corporate citizens and do full rehabilitation of the project, which we can do because we are surface mining, and NTEC has experience in that. So we've effectively picked up all that experience, and we're welcoming a board member onto our board, an experienced mining engineer, and we're also we're welcoming a substantial shareholder in NTEC. So from the point of view of the AZL shareholders, it is very much a win-win relationship. I mentioned previously about growing a team of mining professionals in a market that is very strong in the US and around the world. And that does take time to build those professionals. Here with the NTEC deal, we fast forward that because we get a team allocated within the experience network of NTEC immediately. So that appeals to the board of directors of AZL. So very exciting for us.
So besides to these partnerships, I mean, like, do you have any, can you help us to summarize like the previously vehicle about the logistics and other relationships have been built for the Big Sandy?
So basically, we haven't formed too many partnerships of this sort of quantum because we are building the Lithium Research Centre in Phoenix, and that will be basically us taking control of our processing and fine-tuning our flow sheet. And we found that people in the industry were not lithium professionals. The lithium industry is very new, and so there's not a lot of consultants that specialise in lithium. So I'm excited about the Lithium Research Centre because we're bringing that expertise in-house with Brett Rabe running that, and he's now recruiting a team to run that operation. And I was just there a couple of weeks ago, and what he's creating is really sensational, and we'll be updating shareholders in the future as we build out that Lithium Research Centre. Other than that, basically, NTEC is very much the partnership that we formed on the mining side. And then as we start producing lithium from the Lithium Research Centre, we'll talk to potential off-takers and even strategic investors as we can provide a product to them to show them the quality of the product that comes from the Big Sandy project.
That sounds exciting. Still, a lot of good news is coming through.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Paul, for sharing and explaining this valuable information. Is there anything else you would like to address to shareholders and investors?
I'd just like to say to shareholders, Steph, that this is a deal that we have been working on for, as I said, 6 months, and we haven't entered into this lightly. We have tried to find a very good partner to run our permitting and mining operations. I think we've actually found the perfect partner with NTEC and the Navajo Nation. And I think it's really positive for the development of the Big Sandy project. And I think we will look back on this date and say that was a significant turning point for the Big Sandy project.
True. Again, thank you, Paul. And I think everyone and all of us look forward to witness the success of the next stage of Big Sandy for sure.
Thanks, Steph. Good to talk.
Thank you.
Bye.